Shalom, shalom, Chag Sameach, Yom HAKIPURIM. I'm Moreh Rapha'Yah. We are going to talk about a little bit about this amazing festival of Yom HAKIPURIM. Yom HAKIPURIM takes over a lot of things. It's not just the date of the reconciliations, but also it covers more than that today and also in the future and also in the past as well. Right before we start, I'm going to ask you if you could subscribe to the channel so you can get the latest production. We are constantly working so much. We are going to come out with a single album, and it's called Nazarene Melchizedek, coming soon. Hopefully the next stage is already being approved and is going to be out in all platforms, the same as the rest of the music that we have come out. It is, and it will be on YouTube, Spotify, YouTube channel, in Apple Music, and so forth. So many platforms. So it's already being approved. Few like a day or two, but I think right now you can actually view it in. It is in Spotify for sure. So let's jump into this this shiur, this Torah teaching. And once again, please take notes on all this that we are going to talk about. It really helps when you write things down on a note, so that way you can actually memorize all the information as we go along. Yom HaKippurim is being called the date of the reconciliations, the day that we come to our Father and we actually ask for forgiveness, to please see us in a way that perhaps we been doing a lot of things that we shouldn't be doing. We do make mistakes. We do fall back. But let's find out how all this works. Yom Kippurim, right before that, 10 days before, it was Yom Teruach. We were there celebrating this festival, Yom Teruach. Yom Teruach is the day of the calling of the shofar. It's a calling for us to repentance. It's the day where the weights are weight. The balance are weight, and no wonder why it's precisely in Yom Teruach, which happens to be in the Torah, according to the Torah, not to me, not to our Jewish brothers, but according to the Torah, it's in the 7th month on the first day. And it just happened that every single year, let me pause here for a moment, every single year, precisely on the 7th month, on the first day, it is a Rosh Chodesh. It always will be Yom Teruach, but also it is the beginning of fall, the beginning of autumn, the third season, and it breaks exactly. It marks here the 6 months. The first 6 months, and it marks half a year. Half a year, and it will continue another 6 months until the end of the cycle, the whole year. So it always going to fall precisely on this month, exactly every single year. It doesn't falter. We don't need to make any adjustments as the Babylonian Jewish calendar does today, and some other calendars out there. But according to the solar Torah calendar of the Creator, it always falls exactly as it should be. Yahweh says it will fall in my time, in my timing. Now, let's go back over here, because it's the season of the balancing the weights. Our souls are being balanced. We have 10 days of the Teshuvah. These are the days of Teshuvah, the days of repentance, the days of returning to Yahweh. And right on this day, today, is Yom HaKippurim. We are here. These are where the books are open, the book of life and the book of death. No wonder why the book of revelation, what John wrote, what Yeshua told him to write, we hear in this book, we read that the books were open, and also the book of life. You see how the principle, one thing after another. We see it in the scriptures. We see it in the Torah. We see it all over, and also we see it in Berit Chadashah, in the renewed covenant. Remember when Moshe saw that our forefathers were literally in the blink of annihilation. Moshe intervened for them, for our forefathers, and he said, "Take me out of the book of life." How do you know that? There is such a thing as the book of life. There is such a thing as a book of death. So, and just giving examples so we know what we're getting into. Genesis, or Bereshit 37:31, let's switch gears. They took Joseph's coat, killed the ram, and soaked the coat with the blood. The reason why I bring this is because we need to know where HAKIPURIM is coming from. And there is a place where is it coming from. The origin of HAKIPURIM, you can see it in the book of Jubilee 34:12 and on. The sons of Jacob slaughtered a goat, and they dipped Joseph's tunic in the blood, and they sent it to Jacob, their father, in the 10th day of the 7th month. What day is it? It's today, brothers and sisters. And he murmured all night because it has been brought to him in the evening. When Yaakov fasted, when Yaakov cried for his son Joseph's, allure to our Mashiach, Yeshua. And it's very important for us to understand all these concepts, because if we don't, we are in deep trouble. So let's switch into a different gear. The Creator is very explicit and very direct for all of us to understand that nowadays there is a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of confusion how we supposed to serve the Creator and in a certain way. But today is a mixture of pagan practices with something that is kadosh, something that is set apart for the Creator. And that is a very dangerous line, very dangerous place to be. We cannot be in that kind of situation, especially if we are serving the Almighty of heavens, the Almighty of all the earth and all the universes is Yahweh Sevaot. And let me explain you why. Shemot 30 verse 9, you will not offer strange incense on him, nor burnt offering, nor grain offering, and you should not pour it out of libation, offering on him. And we are talking about the offering or the sacrifice before the Creator when they enter into the set apart place. The reason why I bring this, and let me pause here for a moment, is because if you read chapter 30, is explicitly is talking about the first of the year, okay? But remember what happened with the two sons of Aharon or Aaron. They died. They died because they offer a strange fire. And this strange fire is something that the Creator never ever commanded to. They have 7 days previews prior to the actual date, which is the Shemini, the 8th day. Yet they disobeyed Yahweh's command from the mouth of Moshe, and they still brought strange fire. Now, the reason why am I bringing this to what is this day of Yom HaKippurim is because following to that, Yahweh says very clear, do not bring any incense or strange fire. And then he follows into keeping the seventh month on the 10th day, which is Yom HaKippurim. Do you see the connection there? The reason why I'm bringing this is because I will literally show you the strange fire today. I will show you the strange fire, which really amazed me how dumb and stupid could that be. Especially somebody that should know better. Let me show you with images. This is what is called today a strange fire. Jewish brothers, they do this in this very day on Yom Kippurim. There are certain Jewish groups that they actually whip themselves in the back. They hit themselves. I'm not making this up. You can Google it, you can YouTube it if you want to. This is what they do in this very day. Yahweh never, ever, ever asked us to do this. You will never see this in the Torah. You will never see this in the Brit Chadashah, on the Renewed Covenant. You will never see this because this is our pagan practices. This is what the world does today in the Christian world, Catholicism. You see that? In that Holy Week that they call it, they hit themselves in certain parts of the world. I'm not making it up. This is what they do. Yet our Jewish brothers, they do the same thing. Same thing. Let me show you a little bit, even more so. They do this too. They pass the little chicken on top because they think that the chicken will take their sins away. Even the kid is looking up, wondering, what the heck am I doing here? You see this? It's something that, once again, you will see it over and over again, all these pagan practices. This is what is called witchcraft. If you didn't notice this, this is witchcraft. You think I'm making this up. This is what Santeria does. You see that? Santeria does the same kind of thing. I'm not making it up. You look for yourselves. Once again, the Creator doesn't want us to mix the pagan world with the set-apart things, with what is Kodesh to us, to the Creator. Ezekiel 8:14, he brought me to the entrance of the north door of the house of Yahweh, who looks north. And there in the front of my eyes there were a woman crying to Tammuz. Who was Tammuz? Why were they crying? Why they were weeping for Tammuz? Simply because he has passed. They were doing that kind of practice, and this one comes all the way from Babylon. All the way from Babylon. This woman did not cease to do that, did not cease to be fasting, and also on that moment of, instead of doing it for the Creator, they were doing for deities and idols worship. We are now talking about people outside the compound, outside the world, in the secular world, in the pagan areas around outside. We're talking about inside Jerusalem with the same people of Yahweh. And yet they were doing it. Tammuz is the deity of the rainy season. Died in the winter solstice and resurrected in the summer solstice. Virgins, they murmur, they weep in the winter solstice of July. The virgins rejoice in the summer solstice. Idolically, sin of Jewish women crying or weeping or mourning for him. Pagan rituals within Jerusalem. Do you see this? Now, this is what the Creator really wants from all of us. And this is exactly what we should do. Despite that, even now, says Yahweh, turn back, repent to me with all your heart, with fasting, moans, and laments. Until your heart, not your clothes. You see that? Turn to Yahweh, your Almighty. Delayed for anger, rich in rachem, in pity, and regrets the evil. Who knows? He can turn around, change his mind, and leave a blessing behind. So, what the Creator wants from all of us is literally to be humble in this day. In this day is something that the Creator really wants us to acknowledge Him as the Almighty of heavens, that He has sent His only begotten Son, Mashiach, that died for us, as an example of Rachim, an example of mercy towards us. Yet, we need to understand that this time is for renewal, the same as the following 6 months on a B1. This is also a renewal to our Creator. Remember that we do make mistakes. We have some fallouts sometimes. We need to acknowledge that. We're not perfect. So we understand that because being not perfect, we need a dependent from the Creator, a dependence, and that is giving us a Torah, a guide for us every single day so we know what to do. Because we're not blind in the path. We have directions how to maneuver these kinds of situations, but how can we maneuver these kind of situations if we don't study the Torah? We don't study the sayings of our Mashiach. We only wait for Shabbat, or we only wait for the festivals. That's not enough. It should be every single day. The Hebrew life is it's a way of life. It's not a religion. And that is the problem today. Acharon, Leviticus or Vayikra 16:21, shall both hands on the head of the live goat and confess over it all the iniquities and transgressions of the children of Israel, putting them upon the goat's head, and they shall send it in the wilderness by the hand of designated man. Now, the reason why we're changing gears, by the way, in this date of Yom HAKIPURIM is not just a date of reconciliation, but rather also a date of vengeance, a day of reckoning, a day where Yahweh will remember everything that the men, in general, governments, entities have done to our forefathers and even to us. It's a day that Yahweh will never, ever forget, and it will come. And I will show it to you. Yom HAKIPURIM has a futuristic reckoning. Remember that in this very date of Yom HAKIPURIM, there was a sacrifice for the sins of Israel. So too, in the future, there will be a single sacrifice, and I will show it to you that will come as a fulfillment in the future for us to remember that Yahweh will never forget. And I will give you just one example. There are so many. Remember when Pharaoh cast the male newborns into the river Nile, and they die, of course. Remember what he did? So Yahweh did remember the same thing. He did that to our forefathers. Okay, Yahweh said, okay, don't worry. Give me about 80 years and I will fulfill it back. And so he did. 80 years when Moshe was born, right, around that era. 80 years later when Moshe came back to Egypt to redeem our forefathers from Egypt, what did Yahweh did in the 10th plague? Exactly the same thing. He threw all the male soldiers into the Yam Suf, and they all die, except for the Pharaoh. But that's a different topic. The point is that Yahweh always remember. Yahweh always remember everything that He did, and He also did with the newborn, the first newborn, right? He also did it on the 10th plague, that He killed them at midnight. Nevertheless, He threw them also in the Yam Suf. One way or other, Yahweh always give you the double the payment. The nations around are in constant hurl, strife, peril, going one against another, all for the greed, all for the power, all for everything that the world, quote unquote, has to offer. But we have to remember one thing, brothers and sisters, that this day will come. Leviticus, let's go a little bit forward. When Aaron put the hands on that male goat to put the sins of Israel, and he sent it to the other one sent it to the wilderness, remember that it will come to pass. Isaiah 34 verse 2, for Yahweh is angry with all the nations, furious with all their armies. He has completely destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter. This day will come to pass. Yahweh has reserved this very date when Mashiach returns. 34 verse 3, their dead will be cast out, the stench of their corpse will rise, the mountains will be wet with their blood. 34 verse 6, there is a sword that belongs to Yahweh. It is full with blood, stuffed with fat, filled with the blood of lambs and goats, stuffed with the fat of kidneys of rams from the wild mountains. Yahweh has a sacrifice in Bosra, a great slaughter in the land of Edom. Who is the land of Edom? Who are they today? Whether you like it or not, it is true. Do your research and you will see that is the Christian world. Is the Vatican. Everything that they've done for centuries, Yahweh will remember. Okay? 39 verse 17 of Ezekiel, gather together and come, assemble and come from all around for the sacrifice. You see that? The sacrifice that I am preparing. Not that I prepare. Not that I already prepare, I already sacrificed. No, that I am preparing. Yahweh will come to pass. All these fulfillments of prophecies that are yet to be fulfilled. Zephaniah or 1:7, fear Yahweh, you people of Ayil, Almighty, because the day of Yahweh is near. Yahweh has prepared, once again, a sacrifice. He has appointed those who has invited. And the reason why I'm bringing one verse, another textual biblical text is for you to understand that Yahweh is confirming what He will do in the future. The same as today, when you have a doctor's office appointment, I usually get these text messages to confirm the appointment. And also, I get another text just to make sure. And sometimes they even send me 3 appointments so I will miss the appointment with the physician. Yahweh is doing the same thing. He's doing it with a different, Nevi'im, prophets in different timings, in different eras, in different years. And He's saying the same thing, speaking about the same thing. Now let's talk about Mashiach, because in all this, Mashiach is involved. Isaiah or Yeshayahu 63 verse 1. Who is this coming from Edom, from Basra, with garments stained crimson, clothed in splendor, mighty in power, who speaks triumphantly. I, highly to save, skilled to save. That is Mashiach. We tend to think that Mashiach will come to Jerusalem, to Sinai. No, brothers. He will come from the midst of Edom. Even our Jewish brothers knows about this. It is even in their writings. Edom is the Christian world, because you have to understand that in the first century, our Mashiach was sold for 30 pieces of gold. Yehudah sold them for 30 pieces. And those 30 pieces, they bought the field of the potter. The field of the potter is the nations. Our Mashiach was sold to the nations, to the Christian world, to Edom. And he's been there for nearly 2,000 years. But we have to bring him out. And he will bring out very soon. Now, verse 2, why is your outfit red? It is being questioned. Are your clothes like someone who has to step into the wine press? That's the question is being asked to Mashiach. And the reason for it is because, once again, Mashiach will come from Edom, from the Christian world, to destroy within it, to destroy what they've been doing for so many years. And the nations who've been gathering all this are being going against Israel, the nation of Israel, are the ones that the scriptures talks about, the bulls. These nations will come to pass, will face the Almighty, no matter how many armies they have in their disposal. Mashiach will have them ready. Verse 3, I have trodden the winepress alone of the nations. You see that? The nations is the one that Mashiach is speaking of. Let's go to the Torah. Book of Deuteronomy 32:43. All nations acclaim his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, repays his adversaries with vengeance, and cleanse the land of his people. All this, it is written everywhere, that this day, or Yom HAKIPURIM, will come with a single sacrifice, and that sacrifice will be the nations that went against our Father Yahweh, went against his mitzvot, his Torah, and also his people. Let's close with this. And please pay attention when we read this. Zechariah 14:12, and this will be the overthrow of which Yahweh will strike all the people who made war against Jerusalem. And with what? With pestilence, whereby their flesh will be consumed while they stand on their feet. Their eyes will melt in their sockets, and their tongues will rot inside their mouth. What is this? This is nonetheless than a nuclear blast, than a nuclear explosion. When Mashiach returned, this is what's going to happen. If you remember what the first of Peter talks about the return of Mashiach, he says it will come with fire. In the next verse says, and all the elements will be burned. Stoika means, in Greek, means atom. The atom is when it's released, that's where the nuclear compound is. It's a blast. So you understand a little bit of science, you will understand about this concept. Yahweh is speaking of something coming very, very near future. People will go through this. Those who went against Jerusalem will face the wrath of Yahweh Sevaot. Mashiach will take care of all this. And let me just show you, if you think I'm making this up, Mashiach said it with his own words. but he said it in a certain way that has its fulfillment. Isaiah, we close with this, 61 verse 2, to proclaim the year of the favor of Yahweh. We all know that when it comes to proclaim the year of favor, it's talking about Yom HAKIPURIM. And he's also talking about the year of Jubilee. Mashiach came in a Jubilee. When he walked in there in a day of Jubilee, in a year of Jubilee. But also, he did not finish the text. He just read up to that point. But because the next will be fulfilled when he returns. And the day of vengeance of our Almighty Yil, to comfort all who mourn. You see that? All who are mourning. And what are we mourning right now? Exactly. It is a pleasure for me to be with you guys all this time, to understand that Yahweh has given us the ability to do a lot of things, and you have to take this in a vantage point. We need to be more secure in what we obtain nowadays with the Torah studies, and that's what this channel is for. Subscribe. There is about 450 something, 400 and a half videos that we have available. You can surf into them. So much that we have in English, of course, and that you can look into it. And it is for our growth, and that's what we're doing nowadays, and we'll continue to do so. If you want to help out this channel, right below in the very bottom, there is a link that you can give a tzedakah, a contribution, or to our channel so we can grow even more. I'm Moreh Rapha'Yah, Chatzamea Yom HaKippurim, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. We'll begin.
Toda Rabba. If you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. There's more content in production. Thank you.